make sure. Can you guys hear me now? Yep. Okay, so that's weird. So, okay, guys, hi. So, when I went live, the mic was already pre-muted, which is weird. So, I thankfully I had my AirPods in my ear to see what was going on because I couldn't. It's weird. Okay, so I know I've been getting requests to do this for a while. I haven't been able to. So, let's just basically, get into it because I've been really busy. Okay, love abounds. Okay, so the first intro of what I'm feeling right now for the DFs is that, as the title says, there's a lot of clearing. Okay, sacral chakra. I do feel like there is a lot of changes um, at hand right now that a lot of you guys are going through, and there is a call to go higher. There is a call to separate your energy now. I'm going to just go with the flow. What I wanted to do was switch into my, okay, let's see if it's going to let me into my other account, but it looks like, okay, yeah, it looks like it's just the technology is being weird. You would think we're in a retrograde. So if you are watching this during a retrograde, then that's further confirmation because there's been like massive breakouts and blackouts all over the world out of nowhere that normally, that type of ish does not happen. And that's been happening a lot all over the world. There's been like banking systems down, websites crashing, debit cards not working, deposits not being made, even though it says there's deposits. Um, okay, so that card went. So there's just been a lot of stuff going on, and I feel like there's a reason why I'm saying this in this video for you guys. Okay. Alright, so okay. So earlier I did burn some sage and I didn't know that I was going to be on camera today, so I find that kind of interesting. Let me switch my AirPod here. So when some of the cards fell on the floor, I saw the Ten of Swords, which means it's like, kind of being at your ends rope. So I definitely feel like there's a call for a lot of you guys to take your power back. I've been getting that theme for a lot, for a while, and for a lot of people, it's like there's just, I mean, hello, Knight Pentacles. So there is a lot of like stagnancy, either with people around you, or it just feels like people are trying to put you like in a stagnant spot. And for others of you where this does apply, like this could be that your divine counterpart is going through this right now. Like that's kind of the vibe I get as well. Is like maybe they're the ones who are going through a lot of issues, and yep, with the Empress or you, because it is coming out as like, the divine feminine. So it could be that you feel like you've been very stagnant. You've been, I just honestly feel like at a crossroads. And all the while, I feel like the universe keeps saying to you that, you are loved. You are loved, contrary to what it feels, contrary to what it looks like. Okay, maybe those of you are watching where you could be in a war zone. I don't know why I felt like saying that, but it's true. Like there could be those of you where you're literally in a war zone, like you're living either in a community that feels like a war zone, or you live in a part of the world that is literally like in a war. Okay, and if that's you, then that's further confirmation, or is going to be in war, because I mean that's look at my world messages playlist. I mean, I've told you guys there's a lot of shit coming to America if those of you are watching from America, but I do have a international audience, so this could literally be anywhere. But literally it could be anywhere, but it keeps reminding like there is success, like there is this need. This is definitely giving me energy of like keep calm and carry on for sure. Like this is definitely give me vibes of like keep calm and carry on. Okay. There is new beginnings for sure. So that's what I feel is on the other side, okay? Like this is literally what's on the other side. From stagnant to standing in your power to a new beginning, a new horizon, a fresh new start. Like that's exactly what's happening here. And when you're in the storm, when you're in a very chaotic time in your life, you're going through difficulty, or your loved ones around you are going through difficulty, okay? Community card. It is very easy to lose sight of the promise that you made to yourself, or the promises that the universe has bestowed upon you. I feel like a lot of you guys are waiting for your ships to come in. Like that's the clearest way I could put this, is like you're waiting for your ships to come in. You know that they're needing to come in, but figuratively and literally, the ports are empty. Literally in America, they're empty. But figuratively and um, physically speaking, it's like there's a lack of prosperity. This feels like I'm hitting the nail on the head. Like there is a lack of prosperity in some situations, something that's either going on around you or like within your life. It's very dry. Okay. It could be also very negative. And typically the way I see it, I could say, oh, it's somebody else. It's your divine part. It's your twin. It's the masculine energy. It's this. It's no. This is literally coming out like this is what you're going through. Okay. So if that doesn't relate, skip through the video, or this could be relating to somebody around you. Okay, so either this is you or somebody around you, but this is not giving me your twin's energy, your twin or soulmate's energy. That's not what this is giving me. This is giving me, this is you. This is about something in connection to you, and it's low. Okay, it's low vibrational. It's very low vibrational, but there is opportunity. Okay, there is things on the horizon that they want you to keep hoping for. They want you to keep thinking about. Um, I think one of the issues I see here is that you can't see it. Like, do you see how narrow that door is? Right in between the heart, and it's the colors green. So green speaks to not just health, but resources, stability. Okay, there's those of you that need to do mantras and do affirmations, because there's this symbolism I keep seeing here of like colosseums and columns. Like that's literally what it feels like. And there's another message coming through that like I'm getting for you, that's saying you don't need to prove yourself to anybody. Okay, especially if you're a Taurus, Scorpio, or Leo. I'm feeling here, or Scorpio. It's like Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun. This absolutely feels like you are done with doing that. Like for your foreseeable lifetime, for your foreseeable future, I don't see you. I don't see you in an energy where you are having to settle. Okay. Maybe, especially if you're a Leo feminine, I'm picking up here. Like in the past, you had to settle for survival means. You could have some dominant Leo placements in your chart. I see here. Yeah, this is water energy as well. That's Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Yeah. So what I'm getting here is it's time to turn the page, okay? Had to plug my phone in, guys. I was wondering why the audio was in and out. I think they're having tech issues. I think the actual app is having a tech issue, but I'm still going to continue because this has to get out here, okay? Or it could be that my AirPods are going dead. Who knows? Who cares? As long as you guys can hear me, that's all that matters, okay? That's literally all that matters. So back to that Leo energy that I was feeling. Focus on, if this applies, of course, focus on where that Leo energy is in your chart, because it feels like you had to settle for something. And I feel like the universe is seriously pulling you out of this energy because you've been here for too long. You've been in this energy for far too long. And the chickens are coming home to roost, where it feels like you can no longer do what you've always done. That's what it's giving to me. But amongst all this chaos, there is love. There could be a lot of chaos for those of you, but there is still love here. I do feel like you could have like older people around you, or yeah, this feels like this is like close quarter energy. That could be, yeah, could be causing you a lot of heartbreak, a lot of disappointment, for sure. That you need to walk away from. 3 swords, 8 of cups. You need to walk away immediately. And I think that my audio, the reason why they're messing with the technology is because they don't want this message to get out. So those of you who don't have headphones and you're watching on your TV or you're watching on your computer, please put in your headphones, because like my streams are normally fine, and first they had me on mute without even my approval, and then now they're trying to pull the audio in and out. They're doing it on purpose so that I would turn off the stream and come back, which I'm not doing, because the messages are going to flow how they're going to flow. I'm not going to come in and out, right? So my advice, guys, is just turn up your audio, okay? Because either the app needs to update or something, but it ain't me. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you, it's not me. And I wouldn't even know how to fix that, quite frankly. But let me stay focused. So, yeah, something brought great pain. Something brought great trouble. This feels like fire, water, and air all the way to me. I don't see earth in this energy. It's a call to action, Divine Feminine, okay? This is a call to action. All right, one sec, guys. I'm going to close the app and then come back on, and I have my AirPods in to check the audio, okay? One sec. Okay, we're back, but let's just see what the audio does. I'm curious. You know, there's been all these technological issues with grids and this and that all over the world, with banks, you know, to banks, to apps, to websites, to government, you know, portals. I mean, this has just all come out of nowhere, you know. But as long as you guys can hear me, it's fine, and you guys can, so it's good. Okay, so this is Cancer energy, which is further confirming this is water. Okay, so this could be referencing a Cancer season or an important Cancer person or a Cancer placement in your life. So I'm just going to let it rock, guys, okay? Just pay attention to the messages and ignore the spiritual warfare, okay? Because that's what it is. It's just spiritual warfare trying to not get this out here to save somebody's life. That's all it is. That's all it is. Yeah, they're telling you to come out of a stagnant place. I mean, it's very clear. They're saying, divine feminine, enough is enough. Okay? This is a very sensitive message, so take it with a grain of salt. If it applies, it applies. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But there is something here that's saying, like, there is no more damage this person can do to you. It's a good message, but it's also like a realist message. It's like they cannot go any further. The universe is not going to allow it, okay? But it's still a realization that you need to turn your back and walk in the opposite direction. Okay? Because there's nothing else this person can possibly do. Like the universe is purposely blocking them from hurting you, but at the same exact time, it's like a call to action. It's a call to wake up. It's a call to, snap at your fingers to realize that this is not going to change. Okay? Take that how you will. It's not going to be for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be. It's a specific, collective that I'm also, speaking to clearly. So it is what it is. Yeah. So with the intuition reversed, see, it's something that's trying to knock you off your pedestal. This is everything that's coming out is confirming this over and over and literally over again. It's like, I hope this is not your DM. That's all I'm going to say. I hope it's not the person that you're romantically connected with. I hope that's not where this is coming from. But you know what? For some people, it is. For some people, it is going to be about the person you're romantically connected to. I don't know. I hope not. I really hope not. But the underlining energy to me just feels like the phrase peeping tongue, where people are just intruding into your space. And the universe is saying, when are you going to walk away? When are you going to realize that there's nothing to gain in the situation? There's nothing left to say. I'm hearing there's literally nothing left to say. There's those of you I'm picking up where you've sent a text message to somebody and you basically said everything you had to say. And the universe is like, there's nothing else to say. You already said it all. So if you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs thinking of, what's the next strategy? There is no next strategy. Hello? Right? There is no next strategy. It's time to pour that energy back into your own cup. And if you've never been, and this is a very vulnerable thing to say, and this is just what I'm picking up, is like, if you've never really felt like you've truly loved yourself, this is opening the door to that, okay? This is going to open the door to prosperity. And this is totally not the way that I thought that this was going to come through, but it did with the love. They're saying that there's those of you where you don't actually love yourself the way you think you do. There's a big well of lack of self-love here. Self-care, self-love, self-consideration, self-sufficiency. It's lacking. And quite frankly, they just want you to trust your own intuition for once, They're like, you're so intelligent, you're so smart, yet when we're sending you signs, we're sending you symbols, we're sending you synchronicity, you're not tapping in. Now, granted, I would say 70% of you are tapped in. You are acknowledging the signs. You are being grateful. You are saying your gratitude prayers. But the other 30% of you, you're not. You're brushing it off. You're chuckling at it, right? You're throwing out the bath with the baby water. You're not paying attention, basically. So if you're the 70% in the collective that is paying attention, I congratulate you, okay? Because you have peeped the dynamic of what's going on here. Like, you really get it. But the other 30%, what they're saying here is that you think you love yourself, like you think that you love yourself, but you actually don't. Because some of the things you allow to continue in your life are literally killing you. And I don't know how to say that nicely or softly, or they're saying to me, it's killing you. There's those of you watching me where you thought you were gonna die. Now this is getting serious, okay? So if you want to skip through the video, go ahead when it's uploaded. This is live, okay? They're saying to me, there's those of you where you literally almost died. No exaggeration. You were on the brink of death. That's how bad this shit is, okay? And you need to wake up. It's time to wake up. You don't love yourself. And the way you know that they're saying to me, the way you know this, if this is your reading, is that you question if you love yourself. You are questioning, do I actually love myself? Do I take care of myself? This is what I'm picking up. Every now and then, you know, you're doing your groceries, you're cleaning your house, you're at work, and it's like you're questioning yourself. You're like, do I actually like do I love myself? Do I reflect that I love myself? And that's what it's saying here. Is you don't. You don't actually love yourself for that collective I'm speaking to the way you think you do. Because you're tolerating things that do not show that you actually love yourself and take care of yourself the way you should. And the universe is tired of it, okay? You know, love back to back. They want you to pour into yourself. This death card is literally underneath love abounds. So it's saying you've been heartbroken. You've been there, seen it, done that. Okay? There's nothing else there. It's time for a new beginning. It's time for a new horizon. It's time to turn the page. And I feel like a lot of you guys, your guides are just asking you, when are you going to turn the page? Like, a lot of you guys, like, your fresh new beginning is like literally knocking at your door every day. Every day you get up, your new beginning's knocking on your door. And what I'm getting, what they're telling me here is like they're calling you, but you're not answering. And once again, the good news is 70% of divine feminines are answering the call. I see that there's a lot of like let's put this out here. And this is going to be in the title, by the way. The divine feminine has risen. That needs to be in the title, by the way, okay? So I will correct that at the end of the video. The divine feminine has already risen. People keep saying, "Oh, they're gonna rise." No, the divine feminine has already arisen. Look at the world, right? Look at the world. Look at the collective consciousness. They're already awake, but it's just a 30% left that are still trying to work out the kinks, work out how they fit in society, work out their relationship pet peeves and non-negotiables. They're still working out the kinks. But the good news is 70% have already woke up. Okay, we've already waked out of the slumber a long time ago. Now we're just seeing the hard work in play. All the seeds that were planted before 2020, now in 2025, are finally blooming, are finally coming into fruition, okay? Now, did it take a long time? Yes. Yes. Did it take a long time? Absolutely. It took a very long time. Okay? But they're saying you're missing one component, and the one component you're missing is there's still some loose ends that you haven't cut. there's still some things lingering in your life, lingering in your environment, lingering in your close quarters, your close connections that are literally killing you. And if you don't do something about this, well, I guess you can guess what's going to happen, right? Abundance is here, but this is reversed, which means this is out of balance. What this means is that there is tasks at hand that need to be completed, that need to be worked upon, but they're not being worked upon. I.e., projects that are being abandoned. Okay, this also could be for those of you who out here who are twin flames. It's like that connection has been abandoned, and that's left a big wound. That's left a lot of residue, pain that should never have been there in the first place. And it's not your fault. Okay, I feel like they're trying to say like it's not your fault. And at the same time, there has to be some kind of closure of the residue situation at hand. Because you can't be bleeding all over the place. Okay? You can't survive. No human being can survive if they're bleeding all over the place. I.e., you get an opportunity and the ball's dropped, or you say you're not going to talk to a toxic person, but then you end up falling for their trick and you talk to the toxic person. Or you know that somebody's not good for you, shouldn't be in your life, but you're letting sympathy draw you back in every single time. It's things like that that I'm picking up here. Or, irrational spending, irrational investment into yourself. Maybe you're spending on other people, maybe you're overspending on other people to get validation, but you're not spending on yourself. There's an imbalance. There's an imbalance here. You have to put yourself first. Like Kiana said, what's in the cup is for me, what's overflowing in the cup is for other people. So, for example, if you get up in the morning and you're thinking about the worries of other people, but you're not thinking about the worries of your own self, and you're not taking proactive energy to figure out the kinks and issues in your own life, that's what they're talking about. Is the way we give to other people is when we give to ourselves. So don't feel guilt tripped over self-care days. Don't feel guilt tripped over on the weekends, you want to sleep an X amount of number of hours on your day off, because that energy, right, and that health and that self-care that you're putting into yourself is going to help you down the road. But if you're not actually putting that into yourself, how can it circle back out in the universe? So those of you who are struggling with sleep, that's affecting your finances. That's what they're saying to me. So anybody watching this, okay, injustice, absolutely. It's unfair. It's not balanced, right? The scales are not balanced. Confirmation right there. Right there. If you're having financial issues, it could be that your sleep or something about your rest is not good. Your sleep quota, your health, something there is not quite right, and that's what you're not seeing. Okay, of course, to only those who it applies to. Okay, if it doesn't apply to you, don't take offense. But it's saying here, these are the kind of things we're talking about that are not being uncovered, and this is why you're leaking. It's the energy is being leaked other places that it shouldn't be. I don't see a focus on masculine energy, okay, for the that they DMs, or if any DMs are peeping in, okay, any masculines are peeping in. I don't see the focus on any of you guys at all. I don't see it here. It's almost, I could say, -0. Like, there's no importance into the masculine energy at all. It's just not here. So it's like saying, like, how long can these swords be in your back? Because some of you, it's like you've had wounds from like 2022. That's what I'm picking up. And now it's a new dawn, a new day, new year. And they're saying, when are we going to turn the page? When are we going to step into the light? And this could be something you're also asking yourself. It's like, when is it going to change? Waiting for a magical answer, waiting for a fairy to come out of the sky. Okay? It doesn't work that way. Okay? The fairy is not coming. So you have to take back your power. You got to take back your power and realize that. And this is, I think, was a video I did on TikTok where it's like a lot of people, they're placing false hope in other people that don't really give a damn. Okay, they don't see things the way you see it. So waiting for outside approval or the public or society to get what you are doing is literally hopeless. There is no value in that. So it's time to understand that it's really you against you. And the intuition aspect of this is what is concerning. It almost feels like there's been a blindfold for a long time. And because there's been a blindfold for that long, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's hard to see a way out. But they're trying to reassure you, but there is a way out. And a lot of times it's like they want to see the spotlight illuminate the floor to the point where, like, every step you're taking, the floor is opening up. But that's not what it's that's not how life is, unfortunately. Yes, people can use spiritual gifts, they can go to prophets, yada yada yada, get predictions out the wazoo, but that road lighting up is not how life is, and we all know that. You're walking on a dark road, a dark abyss road, and you can't see in front of you. And the repeated feeling here is like you really felt like you were going to die. You really felt like you were on the brink of death. And that's because you were you were investing your energy into the wrong places, the wrong people, the wrong environments. And then you wonder why you feel drained. Then you wonder why you feel confused, because you're not where you're supposed to be. With chariot energy, you have to go into where you need to be. You have to be forthright. You have to be intentional. You can't let other people's opinions tell you where you're gonna be, or you're gonna die. And this could be a metaphor. I hope it's just a metaphor, but it's saying this is where people die, is when they get caught up in false lights, false information, false people, false connections. That's where the destruction comes from, is falsehoods. Instead of listening to your own voice, you're trying to go outside and ask other people, what do they think? What they think is zero value. So there's no need to doubt what's inside of you. Nobody has the same destiny. Nobody has the same life partner. Nobody has the same, if they have kids, the same offspring. Nobody is supposed to be the same. So if you're walking around in life trying to assimilate yourself into destruction, that's exactly what's going to come knocking at your front door is destruction. Because you know where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, but you're waiting for approval. You're waiting for exterior validation. And for a lot of feminines, that whole ploy is over. You're going if you try to do that, you're going to be going outside of yourself and you're going to get fucked up. You're going to realize so quickly how little people care about you. How little wisdom the outside world really has for you. Wisdom has never come from other people. Wisdom has always come from experience and from yourself and your own intuition. Wisdom doesn't come from other people's opinions. That's not what wisdom is. That's just an opinion. So this is a turning point. This is a turning point of asking you, are you gonna stay in the same place? Are you gonna pack your shit, pick up your energy, and move along? And yes, it could be harsh. Okay, I'm surprised the tower's on here. It could be very harsh energy. Okay, all the solar flares coming in, bleeding into the ozone atmosphere, all these crazy things happening in the world is proof that when you let your guard down, you get fucked up the ass. So there is not justice. There is a lack of justice for multiple reasons. And that could be what a lot of you guys are feeling is like, there's no justice. Where is my justice? And they're saying, dwelling in this lack of justice is going to get you killed. It's going to deplete your dreams. It's going to drain your hope. It's going to have you stuck in Lululand. Staying in this place is going to get you in trouble. And I don't know why it's coming out like this, but I just got to say this. There's an energy here of like, I don't know who this is for, but there's an energy here of like thinking that people care about you that really don't care about you. And I don't know where that's coming from, but I'm just feeling this very heavily here. It's like thinking that people are caring about your well being that don't care about your well being. They could care less, but you're waiting around for a magic answer, for a magic potion. It's not coming. What do you not get? What are you not getting? It's almost the energy of like, if it was going to be here, it would have been here by now. That's exactly what I'm getting. If it was going to be here, it would have been here by now. It's not. A chariot, a horse, and buggy, not coming. Okay, not happening. It's not happening. It's confirming all over here. It's not coming. So they're pushing the ball in your court, feminine, and saying, "What the fuck are you gonna do?" Because time's up now. The world's ending. People have gone to shit. The streets are barren, right? The attitudes are fucked. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit on the sidelines? Are you gonna go in the field? And they're saying there is a benefit to both energies here. There's a benefit to be on the sidelines, and there's a benefit to be on the field. But you have to have the insight on when it's time to sit down and when it's time to get up. So they always say like when you're weak, when you're weary, you rest. Right. But when you have the power to put your foot on the gas pedal, that does not equal go back and lay down. That does not equal throw in the towel. That does not equal self sabotage. That does not equal giving people false power over your jurisdiction. That's not what that means. That's what's happened here. That's why that whole chaser runner dynamic is bullshit, because you don't have to chase anything, okay? What's for you will simply appear. It doesn't matter who doesn't like it. It doesn't matter what is going on outside of that realm of what's happening to you one on one. It doesn't matter. That whole hard work concept is false. Look at the world and you know that, okay? Hard work does not give you what you want. It just makes you put yourself in the running to get potentially what you want. It doesn't guarantee what you want. Some people put in half the effort and get more because of not just luck, but they're in alignment, okay? Their perception is right, their mental magnetism is right. So, no matter how evil they are, and this is going into a lot of topics here, they attract what they want because they believe they deserve it. You see what we're getting here? They're so you're saying all these evil people. Yeah, okay. The evil people, let me tell you what it is, right? And I'm saying this for a reason. This is obviously why this video is here. The reason why evil people get what they want is because they believe that they're worthy of getting what they want. People who are like docile, passive, quiet, like the reason why they don't get what they want is because they don't believe that they deserve it. That's the gap that people are still in this matrix confused by. They think that the people that are evil getting what they want are doing rituals and all. No, they're not doing none of that, actually. Okay. Some do, but majority don't. A lot of it is luck. A lot of it is connection. But when you boil it down, they feel that they deserve that. And so in a scientific way, the universe bends to how they think. The universe kind of yields to how their mind is, their mindset is. And so that's why no matter how evil a person is, they still attract what they want because they believe they're worthy. If you don't believe you're worthy, then or something or some other kind of lower vibrational negative emotion is more in your field than positive, that's why when you're recepting and you're receiving things, it comes across as um, lukewarm because the base foundation is not solid. If the base of the foundation is rocky and not proper, then everything else is bound to topple and fall after it. It's bound to collapse one way or another. Just like just like if someone goes into a relationship wanting to change someone, wanting to expect someone to be a part of their plans or do what they want them to do, and it backfires because the pretense, the base of the mental magnitude of that connection or relationship is false. So that's why with certain connections, it's not bad luck, it's not any of those things. It's the fact that one or two people are coming to the table with lies, okay, with a stack of lies, and they think their shit doesn't stink. That's what it is. So yes, what you're putting out you are getting back to some degree. And if you're not getting what you're putting out, then you're lying to yourself. If you're a good person and you're dating someone and that person is a slimy snake, then there's something with your low self esteem and your mindset that's wrong, not the other person. Because the other person clearly believes in their mindset that that they deserve a loving, caring partner. You don't. So that's not on them. That's on you. Because Once again, their self-worth, their self-esteem, they believe, there's that keyword again, they believe that they deserve a loving partner. They believe that they deserve a life of ease. They believe that things can come easily. The other party does not. So that's opposing forces. It's opposing beliefs. It's opposing energy. So if you in the most vulnerable sense, you're romantically connected to somebody who thinks like that, it's not going to last because the basis is faulty. It's not hard to understand when you look back and you process it. It's because of lies. The ego and lies is always the culprit. Okay? Because the second you're honest and the second that you have respect for yourself, you get out of those situations. Glance at society, glance at your parents, glance at your neighbors. The reason why they have what they have or don't have what they have is because of their beliefs. So when someone respects themselves, they do not attract that. And if they do, they leave. But they don't leave in a common fashion. Okay? They don't leave like most other people. It's a different kind of energy signature, is what I'm saying. So you could be that feminine watching where you're looking at your personal relationships, you're looking at your life and you're not pleased. And sadly, but not sadly, the message is saying it's time to look in the mirror. Okay? It's enough of this. How can I put this? It's enough of this waiting around, twiddling your thumbs. Well, I'll just see. Like, there's deception here. It's a lot of deception here. You gotta get real. You gotta get tough. You gotta get clear. You gotta get clarity and stop crying over spilt milk. Okay? The person, places, and things and environments that betrayed you, that let you down, that's in the past. That is in the past. Stop trying to eat your own vomit. That's not going to change. So, a part of the feminine not being in a shadow is taking back themselves into the light, getting out of hermit mode, getting out of shutdown mode, getting out of being cold mode, and being more warm and receptive to the people, places, and things that are trying to help you. It's up to you to decipher what energies are actually helping you versus harming you in disguise. That's another test within itself. These are all tests, these are all roadblocks, these are all mind games. Okay, sadly, that's just how life is. You have to figure it out. You have to go within the maze and figure out and weigh the pros and cons and make a tough decision, or decisions plural. That's just how it is. But they're saying too, there is deception here. There is something about this that's deceptive. And it's up to you to weed it out, okay? It's not anyone's job to make things clear for you. If somebody else makes something clear for you, it's a gift from God, but that's rare, okay? If somebody else is able to join arms with you and forces with you and help you, it's a favor. It's not a preset necessity. Okay, it could be a mutual agreement, or it could just be a simple favor. Okay, but there is some kind of burden here. there is some kind of burden here. And this makes me feel like somebody who's in a field, you know, slashing wheat, and the sun is like 90 degrees, you know, and they can work in this field and make legally, of course, and ethically make their money, even though their hands are bleeding, they're tired as fuck. They can make their money and then walk and have a nice hot meal and go to sleep. Or on the other side, there's an energy of, I give up. And so basically your hands are bleeding, your forehead is sweating, your feet are swollen, and you've gained nothing from that. So what they're saying is either way it's painful, right? In the process it's painful. When you're turning into a diamond, it's always painful. And this is a part of life that I think has slipped a lot of people's minds, is especially in this modern society, is this idea of, you know, not just instant gratification, but what success, the victory is really, you know, really is. It's what you do in that journey that gets you that victory. It's your habits, it's your routine, it's your mindset. It's a lot more that goes into it than just saying I want success. Right? For example, when I built my YouTube channel, I had, without me realizing, I had a methodology that propelled me to success. It wasn't I just click my fingers and say, you know, sprinkle some shit on me. No, it was the fact that every fucking day I would get on here and bust my ass, right? Every pocket of opportunity I have to go live or whatever, I did that. And I still do that. I didn't wait for someone to come to me and say, maybe you should go on camera today. Maybe you should, like, you can't like wake up. Hello. Wake up. Wake up. And that's why we, the people, in more ways than one, have to stand for ourselves, because we're waiting for government and people to reach down and pat us in the head, and they don't give a fuck about us. Okay? They don't care if we starve. They don't care if we get blown to smithereens. They don't give a fuck about us. They don't care. And maybe that's a message that someone had to hear today. Newsflash, they don't care. They saw you cry. They saw you hurt. They saw you down on your knees, and they still didn't give a fuck. Has that ever crossed your mind? Maybe they don't care? I don't know. I mean, think about it. People have been poor for years. People have had problems for years. Okay? All these hundreds of years, right? All these decades and centuries on this planet, from slavery to the Holocaust to you name it, right? To now the genocide in Gaza, they don't care. They're telling you in your face, we don't care if you die. It's about our power, and fuck you. And when people realize that, they're going to move differently. They're not going to side with things and people that don't care about them. But when they're in deception, when they're lying to themselves, when they're defensive, they don't realize how they come across or how brainwashed and conditioned they are. Until they pull the mask off and the blindfold off, do they then realize that, oh my God, I was dying the whole time. I was in darkness the whole time. I was getting scammed the whole time. I was being lied to the whole time. And this is why in this season, protection work and boundaries are very important, because a lot of people don't have that. They say a lot of this, guys, but in how they treat themselves and how they live their life, it doesn't show. And so nothing is wrong if you're beginning to build yourself from a tough situation. That's basically everybody on this planet right now who's not the 1%, okay? Everybody is going through something. But the difference is, how much do you put up with, right? How much do you allow to penetrate your mind, to penetrate your aura? It's one thing somebody insulting you, and it's another to actually believe the insult. That's solely up to you. Someone could call you names all day long, but it's up to you to believe the lies and the names they're calling you. That's your responsibility, not theirs. Hateful, nasty, ignorant people are going to do what they want to do regardless of what you feel and you want. Because why? They're nasty, evil people. And the second that the world, the collective consciousness, the divine feminine realizes that, they're not going to move the same way they're going to move. That's why you see the influx right now in femicide. Okay? That's why you see women being killed every single day for simply being successful, for simply walking away from a toxic relationship, for simply being child free, for simply being a CEO, going to space, whatever it is. That's why you see people hating, because they hate what they don't understand. Okay? They hate what is free. What has self-autonomy and self-expression, sadly, the world and the people in it are always going to hate. That's just how the world has always been. We're not the Avengers, divine feminine. It's not our job to try to convince evil people that they're evil. They know they're evil. Newsflash. They know they're ignorant. They know they're pathetic. They know that they're rude. They know that they're nasty. They know that already. But what everything is saying here is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to cut loose, cut your losses, okay, and have a new beginning, have a fresh perspective? Those of you watching, some of you guys, your friend circles are very toxic. I'm hearing toxic masculinity. Don't know where that came from, but I'm just what I'm hearing. Like, your friend circle is very negative, very dark. Like, people around you are always poo-pooing your ideas. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Like, they shouldn't even be around you. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they're talking about, is the loss. For some reason, standing up for yourself is being blasphemous as a loss. It's being sugarcoated as, oh, I'm missing out. You're not missing out on anything. Okay? They want to make this very clear. You're not missing out on anything. The only thing you're missing out on is victory through self-power, self-expression. It's kind of like a blatant message. Either we're in go mode or we're in standstill mode. Which one's it gonna be? Either way, time is passing. Either way, we're dying. Are you gonna stay in this, or are you gonna stay in this? Victory or depression? Shit is always gonna come people's way. Yep. Rest and reconsider. Okay, it's saying there is a need to maybe not be around so many people. I mean, I said this on TikTok. It's like, some people think that when they're going through things in life, they need to be around a bunch of people. It's not about being alone. It's not about being antisocial. It's about the fact that maybe you need to just take some time for yourself to breathe. And people who love you and respect you, will naturally understand. And those who don't will not. But there is a call to action. So I'm going to update the title. My laptop went dead. 1 second. I'm going to plug that in. But there is a call to action, okay? Make no mistake about it. There is a clear call to action. And the call to action is to rest and reconsider. Reconsider that the way you see something or someone or a situation could be wrong, okay? It could be a false premise, okay? It could be there to send you to your doom. And you have to be brave enough to decipher, is this going to help me or is this trying to harm me? And if you can't make that easy distinction, then that means that there is some kind of blindfold. There is some kind of I don't even want to say spell. It's possible. It is possible though. what it means is that there is something that is purposely confusing, purposely not authentic, purposely not truthful. Okay? That's what that means. Is there something that's purposely trying to mess you up? So, would somebody say this is a test? Of course it's a test. It is a test. Okay? Yes, it is a test. It absolutely is. It is. But you deserve better. Okay? So the love is within you. The love you're trying to find and other people, other things is not there. Okay? That love is only in you. That's why when things forsake you or problems happen, you're able to bounce back because you have that strength, you have that love, you have that emotional, so quote unquote, support. You already have everything you need. What I feel like this is saying here is like, you already have everything you need. You just have to tap into it, okay? So that's all I feel, that's what I feel it is. Okay, so love you guys. That's the collective messages. Please follow and thumbs up and share, repost, okay? But if you need to rewatch it or bookmark it, go ahead, okay? Skip through the video because there could be, your intuition telling you to, skip through. And then, when you skip through, there's going to be different points in the video where you're going to hear different, really important messages. So they're saying instead of trying to collect and tally what love is outside of you, collect and tally what love is inside of you. Because once you feel and you know that you have a love inside of you and you hold on to that and you cherish that, your need to be fulfilled by other people, places, and things will not be as strong, or will be, honestly, for some people, it becomes obsolete. When they know what they can give themselves, what they need to give themselves, they don't have to go searching for it. Anything else that would be added onto is a bonus. It's not a requirement. It's not a drought. It's not an empty well. It's that, like I said, that cup is full. That cup is full. That well is full. You're filled up past the brim and overflowing. If you're in a struggling season or a difficult time, it may not overflow. It may just be halfway. The cup may be just halfway or right at the brim. But the fact of the matter is, whatever amount is in that cup has to be for you. So what society has done is tried to reverse it, has tried to say the love you get from family or romance or this or religion, like they've tried to flip everything and say, go to this first. This will validate you. Your career will validate you. Your title will validate you. What you have in the bank account will validate you. And that's all. That's literally false. That does not define you. That's why putting your faith and hope in man and putting your stock in things and people is always doomed, because it's fleeting. One day they love you, the next they hate you. One day you have this job, the next you don't. One day you have 20 million in the bank account, the next day you have 15 in the bank account. That's not going to satisfy. That's not going to satisfy, right? One day you're in love with God, if you believe in that, and the next day you can't stand the idea of a God. So that's not where that's not where the satisfaction's ever going to come from. That's not where the support is ever going to come from. The support and validation is only going to come through you. That's why the patriarchal setup has been so dangerous for so long, because it's a false pretense. It's a false narrative of, I must go get another human being who's very flawed and very negative and loosey goosey to complete me. That makes zero sense. That that idea within itself is false. That you need to go outside of yourself to get what you already have within yourself. That's why it doesn't work. So 70% of you have done the work. You're doing the work actively. You know what's up. You know what's what. And there's the other 30% that are still caught in the haze. And they're still believing a lie of, I need to talk to somebody, go to somebody, be with somebody to make me who I am. That's a false belief. That's a false matrix. That's a false pretense. And that is exactly what's been shoved down the feminine's, aka really the woman's throats for centuries. Is, you need to do this because this is what you should be doing. That's bullshit. That's false. That's mind control. Okay, that's abuse. Freedom is free. The word free is in freedom. There is no freedom if you're not free. If you're not free in your mind, if you're not free in your body, if you're not free in your choices, that's not freedom. So if somebody or God or a person tells you you're free, but you must do X, Y, and Z, that's a lie. Because free is just what it means. It's free. Don't confuse the two. Don't get caught up in the hype. Free is free. Free is free. You are your own person. You have your own mind and your own life. And where a lot of people go wrong is, even through the internet, they want to go to other people. And nothing is wrong with getting a second opinion. Nothing is wrong with getting trained. Like, nothing is wrong with any of those things. The only issue is when it becomes the main channel, it becomes the main hub. And then all your common sense is out the window because you're waiting for somebody to tell you how to live. And so that means that you're either one, incompetent, or you're being a child, or three, you're either being abused, or four, you're sadly mistaken. No adult should have a higher authority ranking than another adult. They're all adults. And so this is what they don't want women especially to know. They want to keep them silent. They want to keep them abused. They want to keep them suppressed and confused, because when someone is weak and suppressed and confused, they're easier to control. That's the whole ploy is, I'm going to weaken you, I'm going to take your resources, I'm going to slander your wisdom, your education, your science, so that I can come in and infiltrate you and make you think the way that I want you to think. That's what you call cult. That's what you call mind control. That's what you call abuse. And women in particularly have been targeted the hardest for centuries. So when you hear somebody say the divine feminine is rising, that's false. The divine feminine has already risen. they've already caught on to what's happened to them. And that's why the earth is purging and cleansing itself of so much iniquity, because like I said, the basis is false. The premise is evil. The intent is wrong. If you go into something with a bad intent, it's going to manifest. That's why it doesn't matter what people say, it's how it manifests. It's what happens after the fact. If your intent is clean and pure and something goes wrong, that's different. But if your intent was to be devious, if your intent was to be malicious, if your intent was to be a liar, then it's going to manifest that way. Make no mistake about it. So if someone has an evil intent, that's how it manifests. It's a very big difference in energy when the intent is not to malign, and then it turns into that. But a lot of things are done where it is malign, it is malignant, and then the person acts like it's not when it is. That's where the deception comes in. So this is thousands of years of conditioning that is still implanted and really they're energy harvesting, okay, and more other individuals than most. And some people, they put themselves into the slaughterhouse, okay, they walk into those situations and then cry wolf. That's not how this works. If you've purposely walked yourself into the lion's den, that's on you. If no one put a gun to your head, no one threatened you, then then you have free will. You have free choice. You're not being controlled. But if for any reason someone is forcing you, is conniving you, is putting a gun to your head, that's different. That means it's abuse. So during these times, it's really important to see what is what. It's time to take the rose colored glasses off. It's time to clean your ears and your eyes, okay? And to wake up. Time is up. You have to be able to see and decipher in your circle what's propelling you or what's bringing you down. No more crying wolf. If you got yourself in a bad situation, find a way to get out of it. Don't let life freeze you. Don't let life trap you. Don't let people trap you. Because the whole ploy is to weaken you. And in this season of feminines, this is about empowerment. This is about self-actualization. This is about you have your own mind, you use it. Nothing is wrong with different opinions, but the first opinion you should value is yourself. It shouldn't be about approval. It shouldn't be about what someone else tells you, because they're not in your shoes. That's why when people go to certain people or whatever, it's not supposed to be the first source. It's supposed to be a second opinion. Okay? A second confirmation. It's not supposed to be the end all be end all. So when you have personal power and you have personal autonomy, those things do not frequently happen. So look at the rights that women had before and look at the rights they didn't have before. And then compare your life today. And investigate, well, what do you have now but you didn't have before? Because that's being challenged. The whole ploy is to challenge that, to take it away. Because if you take away the rights, you take away the power, you take away the self actualization, then the person will think that I'm nothing if I don't have this person's validation and that person's validation. That's the whole game. And that's something that women have been groomed to do for centuries. So once you take out the middleman and you realize, okay, I don't need to make anybody happy, I don't have anybody to impress but myself, I don't have to lean on anybody but God and myself. When that becomes your mentality, your whole life is different. Your whole way of thinking is different. When you stop worrying about how you look to other people, your life begins to be blissful. It begins to be happy. It begins to be joyful. It's only dimmed and in a shadow, quote unquote shadow, when you're suppressing who you are. And in good old 2025, this is something that people are only now just beginning to understand in its full magnitude. Most people in life have done 60% of their choices based upon other exterior factors, not for what they want to do, not for who they are, but because they wanted to please somebody, they wanted to fall in line, they wanted to butter up, and that's sad because that's not the life that's actually for them. You know, the study years ago was saying how 80% of people don't like their job. They hate their job. And when I was super young, I always kind of questioned, like, oh, that's interesting. Why would all these grown adults not like their job by 80%? And why? It's because they're not in alignment with themselves. They know thyself. They don't know themselves. They know all these other gods. They know all these other politicians. They know their parents' ideals, but they don't even know their own ideals. They don't even know their own conviction. They don't even know their own talent. So how could they have a happy life if they're trying to always fish for what this person's doing, what this person, like, that's not going to give you what you want. That's why, quote unquote, they can say that males are selfish, because the way they were trained on average is to put themselves first. Put your stability, your well being, your money, your sexual urges first. Women were programmed to do the exact opposite. Put your kids first, put your parents' wishes first, put the church wishes first. They were not trained to actually be in power. Wake up. So when you don't know any better, it's okay, right? When you don't know any better, it's okay. But when you know better, you fucking do better. When you don't know any better, it's okay. It's quite all right. Okay? It's quite all right. But when you know better, you must do better against all odds. Because we have a generation of human beings who don't want to be courageous, and that's the problem. They want to fall in line. They want to play kitty cat this and kitty cat that. And that's the problem. That is the problem. So the whole point of the feminine energy rising to the occasion is knowing who they are. Against all odds, against all beliefs, against all superstitions. It's time to put yourself first. Live how you want to live your life. There's enough people who've said their mistakes, their shortcomings, their programming. There's enough evidence out there for everybody in the world to see. It's not hard to see. Those who chose to be willfully blind and ignorant is their own demise. It's their own shortcoming. Okay? Where feminines are not sent here to save people. That's the biggest misconception. You're there to facilitate, but you're not there to save. Just like how I'm doing a collective message, I'm not here to save, I'm here to facilitate. It's a big difference. Okay? You can only save yourself. That's it. No one's going to come down and help you. Unless you want to be waiting for eternity, and then you're fucked. So it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up and smell the coffee. 99% of the time, the thoughts you have, the ideas you have, you need to do it. You need to follow that. You need to hunker down. Okay? Lock in, hunker down. All the other doubts that are coming to your minds have nothing to do with you. Those are just receptionary distractions due to conditioning, programming, and insecurity. And not everybody is going to be free. Okay? Sad reality. Some people like to be entrapped. Some people like to be controlled. Some people, believe it or not, they enjoy to be suppressed. They like to be controlled because it puts less pressure on them to step to the plate. They like to be controlled because they don't have the backbone to not be controlled. Some people prefer that, okay? And that's up to them. That's their own prerogative. Their own prerogative, okay? Life comes at everybody fast. Life will always do what it wants to do. Okay? So you should do what you want to do because life is not going to be kind. It's not always going to be kind and sweet and cute. It's not. It's really not. And when you accept that, it's easier to strategize and prioritize yourself because you have a clear idea of what the hell is going on. When you don't, it becomes harder. That's why when you're focused, it's easier to kind of decipher what's working and what's not working. Okay? It's much harder when you're not in that place in your life, or mentally at least. You're not there mentally. So basically, any way the wind blows, you're rocking with it. Okay? That's a horrible place to be. You don't want to be shaken by just anything or anybody. You have to be quick enough and wise enough to know when something is a distraction versus it's a facilitator to help you into your destiny, into your God-given right to happiness, joy, and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. That's up to you entirely. It will not be easy. It will not be fun all the time. I'm the first person to tell you that. It will feel like hell. It will feel like hell. But if life has already shown you that to get to this, you have to go through this, this, and this, why delay that? Why try to fight the inevitable? Why try to fight how the game is set up? Because it's a game. Life is a game. So when you know the cheat codes to the game, it's easier to hack the game. When you don't know the cheat codes to the game, you stay losing. You lose. So now is not the time to second guess what you innately know. It will not be easy, but it is necessary. It will always be necessary. And finally, that's a point. It is a point for at least half, okay, of people where they have got to that point. They have set the standard. But there was some fights, there was some battles. There was some tough decisions and roads ahead to get to that ultimate decision. Look, somebody just tweeted, I can't wait till they find out that they will be free again. You ain't got to do 90% of the shit you think you need to do. That's the point I'm trying to make to you guys. There is no rules, okay? If you're entrapped in rules within yourself, that's going to be at your own demise. That's just how life is. So today's the day, okay? For those who are lucky enough to come across this video, today is the day. It's time to love yourself and not just say, I love myself, to actually love yourself and mean it. Because when you mean it, you show up for yourself very differently than if you did not actually mean it. Okay, and that's going to look different for a lot of different people. It's not going to be a one size fits all, okay? Just a little disclaimer. It doesn't have a specific look, right? Everybody's happily ever after is not going to be the same. You see what I'm saying? One person's personal power may be, self-employment, while someone else's personal power is having their dream family. You know what I'm saying? And that's their contribution to their own life and their own passions of grandeur. Everybody's different. But you've got to be woman enough to see where those cracks are and begin to put in the work to cross that bridge, cross that threshold, cross that timeline. Okay? Leave karmic debt behind. It's very necessary to do. Okay? So I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Once again, please, 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 please either watch it in its entirety for the collective messages, or you can rewind or skip through. Okay? Love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.